Let's first take a quick look at obtaining video from the hotel. This may be security video of the lobby, or video from the parking lot, or video from the front desk. In any event, it can be tricky obtaining this video. The first thing you need to clarify is why you need the video. Are you working an infidelity case and you want to see if your subject and his girlfriend came in together? Or perhaps you're working an auto accident investigation and you want to see if the hotel video caught the accident out in the parking lot. Maybe you're working a child custody case and you need to see who all arrived with the parents. Depending on the type of case you are working, your approach and outcome may differ. Many times your best approach would be simply to talk to the manager. Make sure it is the manager, like the operations manager, not a shift manager. I would also recommend to make sure you identify yourself and show any credentials that you have, such as your license. This is also one of those times where you need to dress the part as well. A suit and a tie, or at least slacks and a button-up shirt with a sports jacket. Wear something that shows you are a professional. For me, you know what? This what I'm wearing right now, this is my normal attire, even if I'm meeting with a client. But sometimes, like these type of situations or court appearances, then obviously a suit and a tie is preferred. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. When you approach the manager, you should take the approach of telling them who you are and what you need in a very matter-of-fact way. No need to beat around the bush, but you don't want to give details about your investigation in great detail either. I would simply say something like this. My name is John Morris. I'm a licensed professional private investigator. Here are my credentials. Now you show them your license and you give them a business card. Then continue. I am working an investigation involving some individuals who were at your hotel last Tuesday, and I need to see your security video for that day from 3 p.m. until 4 p.m. Taking this approach may be your best bet to get a glimpse at the video. Now, if they ask what you are investigating, you need to make sure that you do not give out so many details that it compromises the integrity of your case. As well, do not implicate your subjects publicly. You might just say, I am working a civil matter and I need to confirm if the subjects of my investigation were here and who she was with. Now, once you get to see the video, you need to be prepared to gather evidence. Just because they showed you the video, they may not be willing to give you a copy of it. I always have a good-sized thumb drive with me so I can ask if they can put certain clips on it. Make sure it is a good-sized thumb drive. Video files can be quite large. I try to always have a couple of 128 gigabyte thumb drives available for these moments. If they won't provide copies, you can ask them to email them, but beware, they may not do it after you leave. In this event, I usually will say that is fine. Can you go back to the video and let me see it again real quick? Then while it is playing, I have my covert camera or my cell phone recording the video as well. And then I ask them to pause at critical moments so I can take snapshots. You might want to just consider recording it from the very beginning. Now, what if they refuse to show you the video? Then you might ask if they can review it themselves and see if they see the person in there. Show them a photo of your subject or your subjects. They may say, sure, I can do that for you. Then if they do that, and they let you know, then you can ask them for a quick screenshot of the video showing your subject. Then, of course, there is the diehards, the ones that just won't or can't because of corporate policies. Now, depending on the case, you might want to then make a formal request that they do not destroy, overwrite, or allow the video from that day to be overwritten or damaged. If you are working with an attorney, they may also want to send a non-spoliation letter to ensure that potential evidence is preserved. If all else fails, then the attorney working the case should be able to subpoena the video evidence. That is why the non-spoliation letter is so important. It is also equally important if you requested them to not allow it to get damaged or overwritten, as this may be part of the investigation. This can help ensure that the integrity of that evidence is maintained. Now, if it has already been overwritten, like some surveillance systems are set to override every 24 hours or 48 hours or once a week or whenever, then there's not a lot that you can do at that moment. If the case is big enough, the attorney may need to subpoena the hard drives for that camera system and have a computer forensics specialist try to recover the data. I've been involved with a few cases like this in the past. Obtaining video inside a hotel presents plenty of problems itself. First, let's look at the question whether or not you can do this. First, let me say I'm not an attorney, nor do I portray one on TV, and nothing in this or any of my videos should ever be taken as legal advice. Rather, this is only my personal opinion. Okay, I would first say never, never, ever Never, ever, ever try to obtain video inside a hotel room. If your subject has a hotel room or is sharing one with somebody else, they most likely have a reasonable expectation of privacy. They should be able to assume that the inside of that room is secured and private. Now, when it comes to things like criminal investigations by the police, the FBI, the CIA, and all those other three-letter agencies out there, different rules and laws may come into play. But we are private investigators, and we have limits as to what we can and cannot do. I would also caution you to check with your state laws and regulations and rules of your PI licensing. There may be limitations there beyond what I will discuss in this video. As a general rule, you or anybody else for that matter can videotape anything in public view. Now, when it comes to recording audio, there may be other restrictions. For instance, in Colorado, we are a one-party state when it comes to audio recordings. So one party of the conversation must be aware that the conversation is being recorded. In other words, if I'm talking to somebody, I can record that conversation. Unless I'm working for an attorney in Colorado. Anybody working for an attorney is also held to the standards and the ethics of that attorney, and it is against their ethics to record somebody surreptitiously or secretly. So again, check with your state laws and regulations closely. Given all of that, I usually have all of my cameras set to have no audio recordings just to make sure that I do not violate anybody's rights to privacy and risk the integrity of my investigations. So yes, generally you can videotape anything in public areas in a hotel, like in the lobby, the parking lot, the elevator, the stairwell, the dining areas, the hallways. I would avoid videotaping anything in bathrooms, even if they are public. There is a reasonable expectation of privacy there, and don't record anything in hotel rooms, even if the door is open. How do you go about obtaining the video that you are able to obtain, you ask? Now, I have multiple covert cameras in my arsenal of equipment. One is a cell phone, but the case has a camera that sticks out the top, so I can just point it anywhere, or I can just set it down on a table or other surface, and it just looks like I'm texting, or I just set my cell phone down. This one also has Wi-Fi capability, which I can tie to the phone that's in the case, or I can tie it to my regular cell phone and watch the video that's being recorded when it's being recorded. I also have a Wi-Fi covert camera that looks like a key fob. Again, it has Wi-Fi. I can hook it up to my cell phone. I can see what is being captured on video. I can turn the video on. I can turn the video off. I can even take still photos. Both of these cameras also have date time stamping on them, and both are from Lawmate. Often, I just use my cell phone for this type of video too. Most cell phones have a great camera on them. I think my back camera is a 16 megapixel camera, and it gets awesome 1080p video. The great thing with cell phone video is the meta information usually has the date and time in it, as well many times the GPS or the latitude and longitude of where you took the video, and that is very useful evidence indeed. Sometimes if I'm in a time crunch, I just run in with my regular video camera in a pocket and I pull it out discreetly. I hit the record button, I keep the screen closed, and I grab whatever video I can. If I do this and there's newspapers or magazines or other publications by the front door, I grab something that I can hold over the camera, or if I set it down, I can put it on top to hide it a little bit. But honestly, folks, most people don't even notice what other people are doing in hotels, and carrying a camera is kind of a normal touristy kind of a thing.